Welcome to this explainer. Okay, I want you to picture this. You're standing on the rugged northern coast of Brittany in France. The wind is howling, waves are just crashing against the rocky shore, and towering right in front of you is this massive stone monument. But here's the thing, this isn't just any ancient ruin. What you're looking at is literally older than the pyramids of Egypt, older than Stonehenge, and incredibly older than most written history itself. Today we're uncovering the Cairn of Barnenez.
So what does it actually take for a structure to survive completely intact for millennia? Imagine a building that has stood firm through fierce coastal storms, devastating wars, and literally the rise and fall of entire civilizations. How does something like that endure? And honestly, more importantly, who put it there? We're going to treat this like a massive historical detective case, piecing together the clues left behind in stone.
To really grasp the scale of this, we have to plunge directly into the deep prehistoric past. This sacred site was built nearly 7,000 years ago. 7,000. That puts us right in the Neolithic Age. Now, for centuries, local people knew this structure was sitting there on the landscape, but its true significance was completely hidden. To them, it was just a giant mound of earth and stone, quietly keeping its secrets.
Section 1. A near-fatal discovery. The 1950s quarry disaster.
It's wild to think about, but this ancient marvel was almost lost forever, before anyone even knew what it actually was. Back in the 1950s, a private company started quarrying the site for building stone. And get this, they were using explosives. They were blasting apart huge sections of this priceless monument. But as the workers cleared away the blasted stones, they suddenly broke through into these hidden chambers deep inside the mound. Archaeologists were called in immediately, and they quickly realized they were witnessing something utterly extraordinary. They halted the destruction right then and there, and launched a massive rescue mission to excavate and preserve a burial monument unlike anything previously discovered in France.
Okay, let's dive into Section 2. Older than the pyramids. Radiocarbon revelations.
So, when researchers finally got in there and examined the site, the radiocarbon dating results absolutely shocked the archaeological world. I mean, jaws dropped. The Cairn of Barnenez was constructed around 4800 BC. Just to put that into perspective, that means it predates the Great Pyramid of Giza by nearly 2,000 years. It predates Stonehenge by roughly the same amount of time. It's a staggering timeline that completely forces us to rethink everything we thought we knew about early human capabilities.
The absolutely crucial point here is understanding when this happened. This monument was built smack in the middle of the Neolithic Revolution. For thousands of years prior, humans were nomadic hunter-gatherers, basically moving constantly just to survive. But during this monumental shift, people actually began farming crops, raising animals, and settling down. Communities were growing larger, and their beliefs were becoming way more organized. They were really just starting to figure out civilization, yet they somehow managed to build this.
Section 3. Inside the Sacred Chambers. Unlocking the Artifacts.
As archaeologists ventured inside this massive 70-meter-long monument, squeezing through narrow stone corridors, they found some truly incredible artifacts. We're talking axes and arrowheads, delicate pottery fragments, and yes, human remains. They also discovered these strange, mysterious symbols carved directly into the rock, things like arcs, wavy lines, and bows. Now, the presence of these specific items suggests that these hidden spaces weren't just for anyone. They likely held highly respected tribal leaders, priests, or revered ancestors. This was, without a doubt, a place of deep, deep importance.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Barnenez may have served another, highly advanced purpose. Researchers actually found that certain passageways sync up perfectly with the rising sun during specific times of the year. To these prehistoric people, the sky was sacred, right? The movements of the sun, the moon, the stars, they guided their farming and their rituals. So this monument essentially acted as a bridge between Earth and the heavens, mapping celestial movements and connecting the living with the divine.
Section 4. Stonehenge engineering secrets. Defying the impossible.
So, we know why it was important, but the big question is, how on earth did they actually build it? Well, deep within this massive mound, these early builders constructed 11 separate, incredibly complex burial chambers. And each one of those 11 chambers is reached through its very own long, meticulously crafted stone corridor.
And to cover those 11 chambers, they used an estimated 14,000 tons of stone. Let that sink in for a second. Millions of individual stones had to be carefully stacked. Some of these stones literally weigh several tons each, and a lot of them were transported from distant locations over really rough terrain.
It's a project so massive, so incredibly demanding, that it likely took generations of continuous, dedicated labor to complete.
Now, consider the unbelievable contrast here. These builders had absolutely zero metal tools, no wheels, no modern engineering whatsoever. They had to rely entirely on ropes, wooden sledges, and just pure, raw human strength. Yet, despite all of that, they managed astonishing feats: the precision stacking of millions of stones, organizing massive transport networks, and achieving perfect celestial alignment. It's honestly almost unbelievable.
And this brings us to a conclusion that completely shatters our whole preconception of the primitive Stone Age hunter-gatherer. As the source so beautifully puts it, these were not primitive people struggling to survive. They were engineers, builders, astronomers, and visionaries. They possessed incredible organization, real leadership, and a profound knowledge of their environment.
Section 5. The Megalithic Legacy, a continent of stone.
To really truly appreciate Barnenez, we have to zoom out and look at the broader story of ancient Europe. Because Barnenez wasn't just some isolated phenomenon. All across the continent, ancient communities were suddenly driven to build these enormous monuments. From the standing stones in Brittany meant to leave a permanent mark, to passage tombs in Ireland honoring the dead, to the stone circles in Britain connecting to the cosmos, this mysterious megalithic culture was spreading like wildfire. Whether these ideas traveled through trade and migration, or just sort of emerged independently, these farming societies all shared one powerful unifying desire: leaving permanent messages in stone.
So we figured out how they built it, right? We know when they built it, and we understand the unbelievable scale of their engineering. But what about the exact ceremonies that took place inside those dark chambers? Or the true meaning behind those wavy lines carved into the walls? What core beliefs inspired thousands of people to haul literal tons of stones for generations? Well, that remains a silent mystery. The stones just won't yield all their secrets.
But here's why this matters, and what you should really take away from this explainer today. The Cairn of Barnenez stands as humanity's oldest surviving wonder. It's not just a pile of rocks. It is a literal, physical doorway into the forgotten world of the Stone Age. And thankfully, it's carefully protected now as one of France's greatest archaeological treasures.
Long before empires, way before kings, and honestly before anyone could even write down their own name, these visionaries raised a monument that outlived them all. Let's close out with this powerful thought. This site is a reminder that even in humanity's earliest ages, people dreamed of immortality. And by stacking those millions of stones 7,000 years ago, they actually achieved it. So what kind of legacy are we leaving behind today? Thank you so much for exploring this megalithic mystery with me. Keep wondering, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.